back to 1 Corinthians 11 through 14. In these chapters, Paul is concerned with divisions within the Christian community, with those things that threaten to tear apart the very fabric of Christian life together. In short, his concern is schism. The Greek word means tear. In Corinth, the conduct of the Eucharist had become not a ritual of solidarity in the Lord, but an exercise that exposed and heightened socioeconomic and class distinctions. It was not a meal that unified the people in Corinth, it was one that divided them. Paul says then that when the Corinthian Christians came together to make Eucharist, when they ate and drank under the auspices of Christ's words of institution, "This is my body, this is my blood," that they had to discern the body. Body here means not the Eucharistic elements or some doctrine about them. I'll repeat that. Body here means not the Eucharistic elements or some doctrine about them. Rather, the body is none other than the body of Christ. That is, the church, Christ's body, made up of many individuals with many gifts bestowed by the one Spirit for the edification, the building up of the whole community. The relationship between spirit and body, very important. To discern the body as one participates in the Eucharist, then, is to apprehend the true meaning of church and the organic mutual interdependence of every member of the church on every other member, the blessed company of all faithful people, very members incorporate in the mystical body, and also heirs through hope, as the prayer book says. In Paul's way of thinking, the Eucharist is never an individualistic act. It is a means by which one locates oneself in the body of Christ, inspired by the Spirit. So then, to examine oneself is to engage in ecclesiological discernment, in churchy discernment. And this brings me to my last and to my main point. Worship reminds us that organization matters, using matter here as a verb, as I've done in prior lectures. Partaking in the Eucharist is one of the ways by which we are reminded that polity, our ecclesiological structure, reflects how we understand what it means to be church, what it means to manifest the body of Christ. Moreover, our polity also reflects our understanding of how we perceive the Spirit's working in our midst, the Spirit that bears witness that, quote, God is not a God of disorder, but a God of peace, 1 Corinthians 14:33. And, as much as anything, our polity reflects a continued desire for certitude. How do we know that the Spirit is working in our midst? How do we know that what we are doing is done for the building up? How can we know? How can we be sure? Organization matters. Historically, Christian groups have adopted and adapted to three polities over the centuries: Episcopal, Congregational, and Presbyterian. We'll turn to those in the next lecture.